this thing working. Receiving content. Your audience will see it momentarily. Get ready. I'm live! Hello everybody, this is TechStack here. Guess what? I'm gonna try and do a stream tonight. Let me check the sounds. Yeah, I'm making all sorts of crazy drumming sounds. Yeah, so let's do this. I'm in Unity. I've got a ton of free assets I downloaded off the asset store. And wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in Unity right now. So let's try and play this. What? Oh, yeah, I forgot I did that. So let me go down here. Main controller is not a thing, apparently it says. So why? Main game controller, main game controller. Apparently that's not appropriate type to have. So if I look for the map gen, maybe? Because that's what I'm really after. But that would be tough. Okay, so let's comment this stuff out first. So I've got a little game kind of started. I've got some mobs that I can do and things and stuff. But I don't have them in here right now because reasons. If I start this up, it will launch the game here momentarily. Might take a little longer because I'm running all the streaming stuff. Yeah, I'm only at 50% CPU. We're fine. Come on. Start her up. Hello. Hello. Hello, hello. There we go. You can shoot our gun. Doesn't make any sounds for the gun yet. It's very, very dark. I want it to be dark. Can run, can walk, can fall off cliffs. The world's just a square right now, 64 by 64 in size. That's about it right now. There's a weird clipping thing going on with my gun here, I just noticed. Don't like that, but it is what it is right now. I'm not going for visuals yet. Just to give you a sample of what I've already got going, we can take this demon and drop him into the road. We can take this pedestal staff thing, drop him into the road. And I don't know if they're going to fall or what they're going to do. Oh gosh, they're not falling. He screams when I click because of the way I'm set up. But they're just cool looking. Right, so that'd be some of the bad guys I got going. It's going to be in this game. Assuming I make it that far. But for now, I want to work on what will be the world generation, because this is going to be a randomly generated, somewhat randomly generated, selection of various different map prefabs that I'll build inside Unity, or map section prefabs. That's probably an appropriate term, map sections. And those map sections will hook together seamlessly to form an endless world. And either I'll have some type of distance calculation from the start point, or some type of calculation, actually distance calculation from start point is probably the simplest to do. That will really determine like how hard the mobs are and what your score is when you're all done, that kind of thing. So let's do this. The code. So we need some way on our main game controller object here. I've created a script on it. And mapgen is a script. Mapgen right here. We need some way of having a method that we can trigger by some means. I've got a couple ideas on how to do that. That will load in a randomly selected next section of the world, right? So let's first off start with making an array of transforms. That's public. Transform. I think we can do this. I have never done an array as a public in here before, but map sections. Save, and let's see what Unity does for the little GUI thing it's going to put over here. I'm hoping that it'll give us an array type configuration where we put in like the number 10 or whatever, And then life is happy, and it gives us 10 things to fill in. Is it not going to? Are you still compiling Unity? Again, Unity's being really slow for me because I've got so many things loaded as assets in the background. There we go. Map selection's awesome. It's going to be a drop down because it's an array. It's of size 0 right now. Let's say size 10. And we can put all the transforms in there. So we can select all of our map objects right in here in this main game controller. Okay, that's the idea at least. And then we can instantiate them as we go. So, we need to build them. Okay. So let's build a couple prototype style ones. Get concrete pattern 19 on there. Okay. So we've got standard assets, prototyping, prefabs. You know what? Let's not even do that. Let's set this as a prefab first off. So I've got my own little TS folder down here. I can put prefabs in. Starting area. Boom. Okay. Rearrange my windows here so I can see any chat that might be taking place a little easier. Assuming someone's watching out there. Okay. Still doing something here. Okay. Starting area. Yeah, there we go. So now we can take this one out of here. We can go to our main controller. The map selections. We can put starting area in slot 0 of it if I don't click. If I just drag instead. Bingo. Okay. Now in our code, on start, we can go instantiate map selections, arrays, location 0. Origin was going to be a vector 3, a new vector 3, new vector 3, 0, 0, and 0, and then quaternion, oops, quaternion dot identity, because we don't care about the rotation on the very first one, basically. There. Very well. We're good. We're golden. Now when we start the game, it should create that floor for us automatically. Hopefully we'll be above it. We might have to take our player prefab off of here if not. That's simple enough to do. We can instantiate him too. Which, if I end up making this multiplayer, I don't know if I will or not. If I do, then that's probably an appropriate way to do it. Oh, did it crash or what? Stop trying to play. Come on, go, 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 go. Probably should like unimport some of this crap until I get the code ready. Because it's got a ridiculously long load time here. Go, game, go. Hello. I see you. Hello. Hello. Come on. I know there's one of these windows that'll let me turn like oh, what's it called? Not VSync on and off. Right now it's obviously off if FPS is 1900. Turn it on, it might make it run a little better, hopefully. I don't know. Wow, what is going on? 34% CPU usage, it's all in OBS, and 24% is in total there, and that's mostly in OBS again. I've only got a little poop turd of memory used. Come on. I think Unity might have crashed. I don't know. Is it having trouble instantiating the thing? Oh, there we go. Perfect. It worked. So our world loads. Just what we wanted. So now if we come back over here, what we might want to do, and let's plop our starting area in here. We need to create some type of object that triggers when the next section is loaded, right? And where to load that next section. Would encourage exploration of the area. I'm thinking some type of object with a collider or a trigger, and the player goes into the trigger, and that is the cause of it then, right? It's what loads the next section, and it marks where the next section should fit into this piece of the map. Sounds like an appropriate thing to do. So let's try. Let's try, Mr. Bond. Okay, so we'll create an empty, I guess. And next area marker. And this will be a component. Next. Oh, we have a collision. Box collider would be good. It's probably simple and straightforward for it to do. We can say it is a trigger, and the box collider is going to be just straight on that axis there. Where's that end? And we can scale that baby up, I guess. Scaling all the axes. And the player becomes within this region. We activate the trigger that is going to load the next area. We can put some special effect on it if we want to later too. Right now I'm just trying to figure out how best to go about doing this. Only loading the world as we go forward and not all at once, 50,000 pieces. So there we go. It's got a collider. So we're gonna need some type of check on this thing. I think we should probably make this itself as a prefab and just attach it to each object. And then that code would be then carried forward. That makes sense. Load next map section. Well, that's more like the trigger code. Trigger next map section. There we go. Got that loading. Yes, reload all. Where'd it go? Still hasn't loaded it. Unity's still doing stuff. Is there like a compact project option? Edit script. There we go. So on startup, we need to find parent, find objects, type. And it's called map gen. What am I doing with the parentheses? G map gen G. It's not going to do that, is it? With type arguments. Find component. Get component? Get component parent. There we go. Probably going to return a game object, I guess. Cannot implicitly convert type mapgen to Unity game object. Cannot implicitly convert mapgen to mapgen. Oh, it's an array of mapgen, so I guess I get components in parent. Well, let's see how that works. And then we've got a on collision trigger inner or something. Void on trigger. Ah, come on. We got a damageable script somewhere. Oh, damage provider does the trigger. On trigger inner. This, and now we can say mg dot load map section. Yeah. Load map void load next map section. Got that, and we're going to load a location for it basically, and that location is going to be the transform of the collider. So transform location. And the collider, this is what we collided with. So what this dot mg dot public this dot transform. Right? Oh, we gotta do mg as a global variable. And this then needs to do something, so we're gonna say debug dot log location dot position. Loading section at. There we go. We got some debug information going. Okay, test it out. Unity's going to import those scripts, and we'll be able to play as soon as it's happy with them. And what should happen is we walk towards this trigger collider, and hopefully if I've done everything correctly, it will put a message down here saying we're in that collider. And I'll probably repeatedly do it. Oh well. For now, that's okay. What we're probably doing is destroying that collider once we've loaded it. Come on. Okay, we're falling. No, we're not, because it hasn't finished looting the game. I think it's maybe the audio sources or something that's causing it to take this long. There's a lot of audio sources in this right now. Sorry, a lot of audio files. Come on. Here we go. Okay, I don't know which direction we need to go, so we'll go this way. Jeez, don't walk off the edge. Shift P. We need to turn around. It's the other direction. Okay, null reference. Awesome. So apparently on start it didn't get the reference to the map gen. Interesting. Get component and parent. Well, this is the starting area. What if we put this as a child of that? But we can't because... Okay, so we need to check this script, the map gen script then. Right. Map gen. Instantiate, we're gonna instantiate game object. Go equals that, and we're gonna make the game object that we instantiate its parent. Transform.parent equals this. I gotta say it's a game object. Type map gen to transform.transform. There we go. That should do it totally. So then we can take this starting area and make it a prefab with that transform. That could have been it too. Our starting area we created didn't actually have the marker. We did not apply this to our prefab. Okay, so now it's officially a prefab. We can delete it from the world. It'll get recreated when we run the game. Or at least that's the concept. We're also going to come over here and say not maximize and play. Oh, I wish I remember which setting that was in. Profile animation hierarchy project. Project probably. No. Game inspector. Animation profiler. No, that's definitely not it. Lighting, frame occlusion, navigation, console. No. Graphic simulation, project settings. There we go. Graphics. Project settings. Quality. There he is. This is it. Every V is pink. Don't sync at all, please. Even though I don't think you're the problem. I think it's that we've got too many audio sources. Potential. Oh wow, that was like crazy fast. Maybe that was the problem. Okay, we've got an error in our console already. Control Shift B. Pause the game. Oh, that was previously. Line 17. Cannot connect from source type to destination type. Because we're instantiating a transform. Or at least that's my guess. Okay, and then let's do clear unplay on this list. And Control P it to kill the game altogether, and Control P it again to start over. Particle is collision event. Collider is obsolete. Collider property is deprecated. Use collider component instead. Which support colliders and collider today components. Whatevs. I think that's on the first person shooter. Excuse me. The first person shooter controller that they add in Unity by default. So no errors yet, that's cool. We've got the position. We have done a thing. Oh, and it's not the position of us, it's the position of the trigger itself, because it's not changing as we're moving through it or moving in and out from different spots. So if we go over here, this should load up the next piece of the map. That's the theory. Okay, so if I come down to here, to the starting area, we load that up, and we pull this out, we go next marker, area marker, and we make this a prefab, by itself. And then this is prefab, right? So we've got next area marker, so then this next area marker becomes a prefab that we put into all of our sections to indicate where the player needs to stand to trigger the next section of the map. Okay. Straightforward. Now we need to actually make it load the next section. For now, let's make it load whatever we've created in map controller, main game controller, as element 1 within its array of all of the map sections we have available. Later we can let it dynamically choose from randomly which section that'll be. So that's going to be within the main game, this section here, so we need to instantiate it. That's all we had to do really. Instantiate, and we're going to do number 1. We're not going to do this location. Instead, we're going to do the location dot position that we're passing in, and also location dot rotation for its rotation. So it should align properly, left, right, all that stuff. That should, in theory, be all that is needed. Of course, we need to assign a new section, so let's get cracking on that. So we're going to create a new game object. we're going to create a plane first. Okay. And let's keep them all at 0 and 0 and all that, because that'll keep everything centered the way we need it to be, probably. Actually, probably more like this. And then let's create some walls. So let's create another 3D object. We want to create what? A cube. Hit F to get close enough to it that we can actually see it with some level of detail. We're gonna take this down and take it over. See, the real beauty of this is, yes, I'm doing this in Unity stuff right now, but I do know Blender, so that will be awesome when I get to that point, because I can just do this all in Blender instead. Okay, 10, not that direction. 10 long, 0.01 wide. Sure. 0.1 wide. There we go. That looks like a wall. And then like that. And why do you duplicate stuff? Control D. Good. Just like Blender. Okay. And then let's do that same next area marker type of deal. We'll make that a child of that. We can make all these childs of that, actually. Next area marker needs to be set up so that it's actually something we can get into. Just like that. Oh, it needs to be up a bit. Probably should put a check on the next area markers to make sure it's a player that actually is entering the collision bounding box. Probably good to have. Okay, and then let's, all these are under there, so let's create an empty. This empty will be named the name of this section or whatever. Testing hallway. Test hallway. There we go, and then we'll just grab all of these, put them under this. And test hallway is its own thing, so we can just drag it down here to the prefabs. Delete it from up here. Test hallway gets assigned right there. So now we walk up to that thing.
Who are you?
Hello. Hello. Oh, it's working. Yes. Are you watching Fire or no?
No, not yet.
Okay. Wait. So if I get close to the other one. Aw, it didn't work. Wait, it did. What? What's going on? So it's cloning each time I go in there. But now I get here. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's take our lighting and undo my craziness with the darkness. Ambient intensity is up a little bit.
Oh, we just jumped off the world.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what's wrong. There we go. Now we can see everywhere. So if I go towards... Oh, we can shoot the thing into existence too. That's interesting. So it did spawn one when I come over here, but why didn't it spawn in the right spot? So it spawned it. It should be spawning in that location. Oh, it told me the location. Cool. Ah, so there's bugs all over the place. That's what's wrong. Object reference does not set an instance of an object. This.transform. Really? we're not looking at what it's colliding with at all. We should. Co.get tag. No, get type. Tag. What is the tag on this? Oh, it's untagged. Player. If this. So it should stop the bullets from loading the next section of the world. And so you remember Demon Depths, Fire?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to go for. World that would just load itself in front of you as you progress forward, so it's randomly generated maze, kind of maze. I don't know. It might turn out to be a maze when it's done. And progressively gets harder though, because we could never do that before with Demon Depths, right? We couldn't figure out an easy way to say these sections are harder.
Right.
So I'm gonna make a whole bunch of predefined sections to a world, and it will just generate the map randomly based on this. There's a whole lot of other ideas I got going on, but that's the basic concept I'm going for right now. So, debug.log. And just because I'm streaming, don't feel like you have to be. I'm mainly just goofing off. I wanted to see too if my internet would actually handle it, because as much packet loss as I had before, I didn't think I'd be able to stream, but it's been okay so far.
I was gonna say, I don't see any problem with it.
Now that could be that what they did actually fix the problem, maybe, or at least made it better.
Or at least made them aware there was one there.
Well, I've complained enough apparently, because the guy came out and he's like, "I see you've had this problem for a while." I was like, "Yeah, I've had it for a few weeks at least." He's like, "A few weeks? You called back in January too." I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." But anyway, so we'll bug along. The trigger next map section collider triggered by player. This is for my own sanity. So which script is, it's all in that same script that are having the bug. Okay, so let's restart it. That should clear the log too. I have no idea why, but when I went into my streaming page, there was a message from Trayer that said missile. Just missile, huh? I don't know if that's from the last time we streamed, or if he was in here tonight, or what. Collision inner trigger.
Maybe the part he was watching reminded him of a missile or something.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm really puzzled by it. That's not debug log stuff I did then. Oh crap, I've lost my direction. Which side is it on? almost fell off the world. Or have I broken it completely now and I'm not actually a player? I'm not tagged because I did that. Yeah, that's what's wrong. So Unity does this crazy thing where if you're in play mode of the game, like you're actually running the game, it doesn't save your changes you make. It's only when you're playing.
Well,
it
it's just good to you, isn't it?
Yeah, it likes me, I guess. Okay, so I can hit that trigger with the bullet. Unity spits out its own debugging information. And if I get close enough, it recognizes I'm a player and has an error. I really got stuck hitting that Windows key. It slows me down. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Because when we loaded it in, we didn't set it as... That's what's wrong. So when we're loading this in, we got to set it as a child of the parent object. That should hopefully fix the issue. Knock on wood, cross your fingers, it's probably not going to work. So what I want to see happen, and it's a little wonky right now, but that's okay, is I walk into this thing, a platform spawns in front of me, I can jump up on it, walk in front of that to the end of it, another one spawns in front of me again, I jump up on it, and I just keep running forward, right? They just keep spawning in front of me. That's why it's supposed to work. And then the next phase of it's going to be, okay, we change which one it picks. They're not all the same platform. And the next phase after that is, okay, maybe we put like some type of particle effect where those spots are that you can go to trigger the next platform. Or the next section of the map to load so you know where you gotta go. I'm not 100% sure that's exactly what I want to do, but maybe make it some way obvious, right? Like a doorway in that section of the map, right? That indicates I've got to walk towards this to load the next section, or something like that. We got a little hourglass down here. Go Unity, go! What is it doing? So I downloaded a ton of assets for this, and I think I might have overdone it. There's that one. Jump up on it. Oh! Another one spawned. They're way out of position for where I think they should be, but that's okay. We can fix things like that. The idea is working. Ha ha!
Yeah, they are a little bit out of position.
Yeah. But that's just like fiddly bits. The code works. I can come all the way back too. Yay! I have a game.
Have you gone in a different direction?
No, this is the only place that'll work right now.
Aw.
Like the other, your
You're
thought
just
process
testing
is
to see if it
correct.
would work.
Yes. So what I'm planning on doing is in the main spawning one, you'll have multiple options of ways that you can go, right? And I don't know if it'll determine how hard it is or what, but I want like there to be some rooms, and this might get into more complex map design things, right? But I want there to be some rooms where you can go up in them, you can go down in them, like north south is what I mean, north south, east or west. But then that makes it kind of complex because if they're all the same Y level within the game, so up down level, height, how do you get it so that they don't just circle back on themselves, or if they do circle back on themselves, that it lines up right? So
Make it.
make
Couldn't you have it spawn on a giant cubical grid?
that's what I was just going to suggest, was basically they would all need to be the same length and width in order for that to work successfully.
Either that, or have it be able to.
Hey, Zoom.
Hey, Zoom. Have it be able to recognize whether or not you're, within a certain spot, and be able to make a bigger one, and then possibly spawn a smaller one on the other side, and then all that lovely jazz.
Yes, maybe somewhat. I might be able to do things like that. Another thing I've got to keep in mind is there's no physical limit to the number of game objects that you can have in the world. However, there's a realistic limit that you can have to the number of game objects you have. Because a person's computer is only going to be able to load so much, right? And render so much and all that. So at some point, once you get X distance away from the starting point, I've got to start deleting these things out of memory, so that you can keep progressing forward and not just bog your system down as you've loaded 10,000 map sections into the memory, right? So how do I accomplish that? And that might lead to
like, say, break it down so that the field itself has larger cubes that are like individual worlds. Okay, and then each world has the rooms. And then couldn't you like take those individual worlds and compress them small enough to make it so that they can just be stored somewhere while X player is in X other world?
maybe. What I was thinking of doing was just destroying them once you get so far away, so that they're not in memory anymore. That works, but could cause problems where you couldn't backtrack. However, if you were to continue to progress forward and turned into a loop, if I've already destroyed it by the time you get back to that point again, I can just create a brand new one that's different even. Really mess with somebody's mind, right? Like you make 4 left turns and bam, you're in a different room all of a sudden. It's like, what? Doesn't line up. But those kind of things could be possible and would make sense in this type of game where it's like you're traveling into some evil dimension, right? Where they're trying to kill you. You're going into the demon depths.
Well, I only mentioned that because then you could have like items that you have to get from one world, bring it back to the previous world, unlock certain stuff to get to a...
You're thinking too objectively, like there's supposed to be a reason for this game. I'm thinking more along the lines of this is a roguelike game where it tries to kill you for all it's got, right? It's going to do dirty things to kill you. And your goal is to survive and get as far as possible. And you achieve a score for doing those things. The further from 0 that you get, so, if you start at 0-0, the higher your score. The more bad guys you've killed, the higher your score. Those kind of things. The longer you've lived, time-wise, the higher your score. I'm going to try and do dirty things. I'm going to put... So, I know you've seen a little bit of it the other day. Let me put these guys back in here. So I'm going to... Starting
Well, I know the general idea. I've played the Minecraft version, so
yeah.
I know how dastardly your guys' minds are. I just gotta try to play the nice guy. I mean, come on. Somebody's gotta even all of you guys out.
So where are they? Okay, so here it is. Oh, I put them up too high. Way too high. Oops. Okay. Where are they? It's still pretty high, dang it. Well, hopefully you can kind of see him up there. Like that flaming skull on a staff. It's gonna be a ranged weapon. In like a ranged demon thing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna put a wall, and I'm gonna put that sucker behind the wall. So as soon as you step your head out, bam, it shoots at you. Those kind of dirty things. Like, you can't see it coming, but it's going to attack you. The only way you'll know is, like, after playing for a while. In this particular case, because it's that skeleton thing. And let me see if I can just drag this thing down so you can see it better.
Well, I mean, this is Unity here. You're not limited to traps as you were in Minecraft. Okay?
Exactly. But look at this. You can see this? It's actually casting light into the world because of the fire. So that would be your clue there's something bad around that corner. Potentially. But at the same time, this corner, I may not do that. I might just put a torch around there so you can see better. Maybe there's a power-up chest that I'll add to the game. And maybe the chest will often have lights by it. You know, things like that. It's just...
Then again, it could be a bad power-up chest.
It could be something that... Another mob in the game that just, like, explodes. Or, I don't know. Like, this demon thing here, like, the asset for this is pretty cool. It's got, like, a bunch of different textures for it. So, like, there was an ice demon, there's a fire demon, and all this kind of different kind of stuff. Get him down here. And he's got animations tied to him. So I've set it up so like every time I click the fire button, he queues up playing another roar animation, which is what he's doing repeatedly here. So if I shoot, he roars. And I know there's no sound, but I've got different sounds I've downloaded for it. Things like that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, so here is all this. And I've started working on like some evil laser beam thing that shoots from his eyes. Oh, and the demon, if I can get the right spot on him, let's hit his bounding box. Let me make sure I've got this going. Control Shift P. I don't know what happened. Come on. I just paused the game's all. There. I must not be hitting the right spot. There it is. Maybe. I don't know. I made it so you can actually kill him the other day. Something must be broken.
It's a game in development. Something's always broken.
Something. Everything. Anyway, you can actually kill him the other day. Today you can't. He's temperamental that way. So what am I doing wrong about where I'm spawning these things? I think that's the next question. Area marker. So the marker is up in the air. So if I bring the marker down, so let me look at my code real quick. I'm looking for something. No, I'm just got a trigger on it. It's not really the name that's causing it. It just got to have a trigger on it. So if I change this out, swap this thing out for a... I tried to print something. That's what was wrong earlier. I hit Control P and it started to print it. The printer window was open on another screen. So I create it empty and name this next area marker. Like that, and I parent this under here and this under here. This will break the instant of prefab ratio you wish to continue. Sure. And I delete this prefab. You can undo. Yes, I know. And then bring this down here. I think that might just change what we needed to do. Okay. So I can put... It's... This, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? So I can set this at 0 is what I'm trying to say. That can be right at the very edge, so it spawns at the edge. Which 32 probably is the edge, because that thing's 64 wide. And then this bounding box can be different. I can bring it up, and I can bring it back without impacting that position. does it? Yeah, they're two different locations, but why does it not show me the location of this? Empty. Well, let's just try that, okay? And then the hallway needs to do the same thing. Oh. So, starting area, prefab, apply. And apply. We're gonna delete these out of here. Test hallway. It's there. And is it using the new prefab? It is not. It's using the old. So let's add that in. Yes. There. Okay, so this plane needs to be 64 long. Not in that direction. 4. 1. 0. $64 just seems way too long for that thing. That's only scaled 1?
It's a little long.
That's what's wrong. The parent was all screwed up. I'm much confused. 0, 0, 0. Okay. Okay, and then that just needs recreated in there. It's at 32. Y 0. That should be applied because I want all those to be that way. This does not need to be 32 long. It needs to be 16. No. 8, maybe. What kind of crazy dimensions is this thing working in? The plane's at 0, the y is at 0.5. That's 0. Six? No. 7? That is a prototype floor of 64 wide. Well, this will be easier once I get into Unity, I guess, but for now, not into Unity. Gosh, the words that come out of my mouth. Blender. Okay, and then 10? No. 0.1. Point 1. They want it to be 8, 16 long, 23 long, 32, 64. Okay, and then the next area marker that we're going to put on that object goes there. then we can apply all of that and delete both of those. This and this. Fingers crossed. Here we go.
Drum roll, please.
Oops, Control Shift P. Okay, so we're headed towards it. Boom, the thing spawned in. It's up way too freaking high.
I don't see it on your screen. Yeah, it is up too high.
Ah! Okay. And they're overlapping, but I can continue on. So it's spawning based on the center point, so we need to shift this thing so the center point isn't in the center, if that makes sense. Like whatever its length is, we need to put the center offset. It's interesting. So the height was correct on the second one I spawned. I just keep on walking, look. Once I get up here, it works. Just keeps loading more of the map. And if I can get my cursor back somehow. This list of things that are in the world, that's what I was saying. It's eventually going to get too long for memory. Unless I start deleting them.
Pretty cool.
Look, mount no hands. I'm running backwards. There you go.
When they start the game, you can even have like the starting spot be like this big huge door that just opens up and then your game begins. You never see the door again.
Say that again? So like the starting area is a door?
So,
yeah.
When you start the game, you walk through this door, and then you start going, and because if you're gonna make it so that they disappear anyway, then that means that the opening is gonna be gone. So like if you ever go back, it's not gonna be there.
True.
The door you came in is not gonna be there.
Oh, make it so they physically can't go back. That's a perfect way to solve that, Fiery. Like, have another trigger area. So how I want to draw this? I need paint or something. So like, say this is the play field of one room, right? And then this will be the play field for the second room. Okay?
I'll tell you, Billy Bob, if you want to catch us up.
the red area here, I'm about to, crap, seriously? I want to do this tool. And I want it to be what size? No, not that. Tell the size. Jeez, paint's a confusing application. Okay, so you start out at the X, okay? You walk towards the red door initially. You go through the red door into the next room that's going to be blue. When you're in the blue area, as soon as you walk through, it triggers the door that you just went through to get into that room to close. When that door closes, this section can be permanently deleted from memory then.
Right.
And then the only way out is to move forward in the blue room, and you go to the yellow door, way, right? And then the same thing goes on. The next section being over here. As soon as you go through, this gets deleted from memory. Oh, that's perfect. It's not what I was originally planning, but it leaves a lot of options. Because then, like, say your first room's a square, and your second room's a long, narrow hallway, like I was just showing, and your next room's a square again, right? Well, what happens if you go out this way out of the square, and it's a hallway and another square, and you just come back, right? You end up working your way back around. Then you can have a brand new room here that doesn't tie into anything else. It's like a maze that doesn't make sense in the real world terms. You get lost in this place because there is no way back. Now, this works if it's single player. If you throw multiplayer into it, it doesn't work anymore. Unless
unless you make everybody go through the same door.
Unless you make everybody go through the same door, and once everybody's through the door, that's when it unlocks the next door to be openable. Right? So you can only be in 2 rooms at a time. So a player 1 might be here, and player 2 might be here, and that's okay, because somebody's got to go through the door first while someone else isn't, right? You can't all walk through the door at the same time.
Right.
Once this is like this, both of those rooms are open, there's 2 in memory. Then once everyone is out of room 1, that's when you trigger room 1 to disappear, and this door shuts forever. But don't let player 2 progress through yellow door here until player 1 is in here too.
Right.
What all I just said would be probably really hard to figure out what room you're in or whatever. So that may not work, but maybe I can think of something. Maybe I can tag each player what room they're in or something. It's interesting, all of it.
Well, I mean, I had to have
there.
my one idea for the month, otherwise, they
The
pull
quota?
idea card.
Gotta keep your quota up, huh?
Uh-huh.
It's like a policeman with his tickets. Gotta hand out so many tickets each month.
Some months are better, too. I mean,
Okay, why was that spawning up higher? I don't get that. Oh, let's watch the console, I guess. That'll help. That's why I put the debug information in there to begin with. What the what? Oh yeah, I didn't clean up. So the Y was 2.5 for some reason. Y is 2.5 again. And again. Interesting. Huh. What? How is that 2.5? Next area marker. And this is the one that's actually got the script. And the collider. Oh, that's why the collider. Yep. So that means the collider's got to stick into the ground a little bit. Guess that works. Hey, Red. What's up, man? So let's apply that and then try it again. We shouldn't have to jump now, I don't think.
that'd be cool.
Yep.
Then you just gotta work on all the other directions.
I just gotta work on making everything work, that's all. Cool. And that next area marker might just end up being like a door that loads. Like a physical door in the world, right? Or doorway. A dimensional doorway. And that would be like a way to keep it so it looks right in the world too. Have a door that's closed. You get near the door, it loads the other side, the object on the other side of the door, and then opens. You'll never know that there wasn't something there before you approach the door.
Yeah, make them have to search for it. It could be anywhere.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if you gave it a physical representation in the world, like a doorway that's closed, a door that's closed in the world, that's what their objective is to find in every room, right? Is the door. When you find the door, you get close to it, it loads what's on the other side and opens. But don't open the door before it loads what's on the other side. Gotta figure out why it's offset. See, like, this thing is clipping into the previous object. So let's get that hallway back in here. Oh, that's right. I need to take all of these and move them this direction. So the tip of them is at 0. There we go. Now it should be seamless. Or have a very small crack. Oops. So apply. Keep forgetting all the buttons I gotta hit before I do the next thing. I'm still not used to this. Bink. Ah, close. So very close. It's almost like zero, 0. That's at 0. Oh, was it because that wasn't at 0? That could be it. Might not have had the starting area zeroed out.
Oops.
Yeah, exactly. Oops. So the Z should be 32, I think. This should be 64, in theory. Apply. Delete. Copy. Go. Dang it. So it's at 28.4. Oh.
You oops somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess. Because that's not 0? No, how would that add up to be 28.4? Let's put that at 0 then. Now it's at 32. There we go. Let's try this again. Dang it. Starting in... I think reusing the same prefab here is screwing me up. Yeah, it is. Let's put this at 0. Apply. That's at 32. There. And apply this. Entropy. We're closer. The thing that's actually 64 long, which is these side rails I've got here, is working. The plane is too long. Apparently it's longer than 64.
Well, start at 66 if it's too much. Jump it over to 64, 5.
And let's see, 6.5. So I don't have an easy way to measuring what this should be. Oh, 6.4. It must be 10 units long to begin with, so scaling it by 6.4 looks like it makes it 64 long. Haha. That was cleverly easier than I thought it would be. There we go. It is doable.
Well, we knew it would be doable. You just had to figure out how.
I just had to figure out how to add, basically. That's all. Oh yeah, that was perfect. That was a perfect scene between this. Like you can't tell where it's even at. Okay, now you can't because of the lighting glitch, because there's like multiples there. So let's fix the multiple problem by going in here, up here, and say this. So this is on collider dot disable enabled. This dot destroy. Sorry, I'm not sure what the syntax should be for this. Guess I could call the collider. Box collider. Box collider. PC. PC equals get component box collider. Then BC dot enabled equal false. That should, in theory, my thought process is make it so that I don't spawn two hallways on top of each other. So that's what's happening now. If I walk in and out of it, it spawns another hallway. Looking with the code makes it slow to play. That next time I must compile the code or something. So now, yeah, now it works.
I'll be right back. Let me get something to drink.
Yep. There is a collider. Oh, it's showing it's disabled. That's interesting. Okay, so now let's try this. I'm gonna add, create an empty, we'll call this door. That's a door. There we And as a child of this, we're going to create a 3D object. It's going to be a cube. Come down here. Do F on this. It's at 0. So let's do this. We're gonna make it let's see, 3 tall. 3 tall. Point 0.1 wide by 0.1. Perfect. Going to Control D duplicate it and slide that. Control D duplicate it and slide one of them over. Let's slide it over 2 units. -2 units. There we go. And let's see. We'll Control D duplicate it one more time. I'm going to rotate this one along the y-axis. No. By the z-axis. There we go. And this one's going to be too long. And it's going to be positioned at 1. Negative. Slide this one up. And why is our position? Oh, so we're not at 0. 2. Okay, and this should be positioned like at 2 high. 1.5. 0.4. 1.45. That's kind of picky. Okay. There's our frame for a doorway. And then we need a door. So let's first off create another empty frame. Put these cubes inside of it so we know what the frame is. Bing. And then create a new 3D object. It's a cube. I don't know how we got into rotation mode or scale mode, whatever. Must have something wrong. And we're going to make it 0.1 thick.
I'm fired.
Hi, Fire. Never gets old, man.
What? I didn't say I'm back.
I didn't
Said
say.
I'm fiery.
Yeah, I knew what you were going for. So 0.1. 0.5? No, okay. 1. Ah! Well, I want it to be 3 tall.
You break it already.
2 point. Shut your trap! 2.1, 2.75, 2.8. There. We're sticking with that number. Just slide it over this way. And we're going to call that a door. Door-ish. Okay. There's a door frame and then there's a door, but what are they collectively known as? It's not door. I can't say the door is a door and then a door and the door frame are also a door. What's the door and door frame?
Gate.
Nah, gate. A gate is... Gates you can see through. Gates are not as tall as you, right? I don't know.
Entrance?
Ooh, entry. Very good. You may keep your title as Idea Man.
No, I was just filling it for next month, so I don't have to.
And I wish there was a way to change the pivot point in here, but unfortunately there's not. So when I go to rotate this bad boy, not along that axis, along the y-axis, it's going to do this. So yeah.
Hey. I mean, this is Demon Doors, not, or Demon Depths, not, Fancy Pants Unicorn Land.
I guess I could make it 2 doors.
Doorways don't do like normal doorways do.
I could do this too, right? Like this could be the animation. It's like Star Trek. Slide it. Slide. Oh my gosh, I made that noise. Oh, that was bad. Yeah, you know, like when water goes up your nose, it feels like that right now.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Okay, so let's make this a prefab before I die. And let's mark. Next area marker. Let's put this in here. Where did it go? Oh, it's there. Okay. Let's put this as a child of that. That's why not. And we'll set its position at 0. And there we go. We've got a door. That is nowhere near the right position. It's close enough. Let's try applying it. And away we go. So there's our door that's half stuck in the ground, but if I get close, there's the thing. And I can keep on going. There was no door here, though. Apparently the hierarchy doesn't get updated. That sucks. Or unless, because I have it stuck here in the world, that could be it too. May apply. Please be updated. I don't see no sneaking door. Dang. So I'll need to get those models set up right the first time around. That's what that tells me. That or do the doorway placement in code, which is probably doable. It's Fire Blender. Make a better looking door blender probably. Front mode. Whoa, Blender's acting so slow. There we go. Okay, so we got oh my gosh, what is wrong with my computer today? Why does it hate me?
From what I just seen, it hit you a lot.
Yeah. I don't understand because like the processor's at 35% right now and it's acting like it's maxed out. My video card dying? Like overburdened? I'm sending a lot of data, but that's because I'm streaming. My disk is idle. My memory is 25%. That's no big deal. It's not just one core. My processor is working hard. It's all of them. Are only like a third used. Oh, that just hurts. Jeez. I bet it's OBS, maybe? Oh, I bet it's Unity. Yeah, Unity's doing something. Let's go animator. Is it this? Can't be that. Nope. It's Blender. Blender probably hates OBS. Although I've done this before, haven't I?
Yeah, plenty of times.
What? Let me pause the stream. I shall be right back, stream. When I stopped streaming, the CPU usage dropped big time, and then it's fine. Like the Blender was not any better. It must be Unity. Which doesn't make any sense because Unity's not using any CPU right now. It's 0.2% of my CPU power.
So what does it say is using it?
My CPU?
Yeah.
OBS, but it's only at 20% of the CPU power. I bet it's because it's got the graphics card queued up for use. Gosh, let me close Unity. Try it. Save. Unity can be pig to open up. Oh, no, that's not any better either.
Go Blender.
Yeah, I just did. Start Blender again. And it's still being a dog. What? What setting did I change?
You know your stream is back up and running?
Yeah, I know.
Alright, just checking.
Let's see.
Well, you never said hi, I'm back. So.
Hi, I'm back, everybody! Yeah, it is a slideshow, isn't it? Red. That's ridiculous. I don't... Well, I guess I could try and install a new version. I'm sure there's a newer version of Blender by now. Blender.org. This is how you get Blender, everyone. Wait, what did that say? Crap. It's 2.77a. I am on Blender 2.73a. So yeah, about 4 versions behind. Ah. I really do know how to use a computer, I promise. Download! Installer. 64-bit from the US, because that's where I live. And we'll just click that so it runs as soon as it's done downloading. Live tutorial, yeah. Not planned.
Who are you?
That's how I roll. Hey, Alchao.
Hey, Alchao.
Hello.
Who
Okay.
are you?
Hello.
Hey, help.
Help. Do.
What y'all doing?
I'm installing Blender.
Why would you do that?
Because when I opened my Blender, it was running like a dog. I had like frames per minute.
You're living like help.
It says my video output is not good enough right now for the stream. Yeah. Instead of frames per second, it's seconds per frames.
Huh?
And that's how you install Blender, everyone. Oh my gosh, it's not any better. Why?
It's not any better?
No. It's using the Blender render. I can use cycles, but that's
Blender
not.
render.
That's not gonna do
Cycles.
anything. Cycles is when you render. This isn't.
Took you years for it.
Blender render. Preferences? Is it OpenGL an option? Because like I thought that's all it used.
Using integrated graphics.
No. This is a desktop. There is no integrated graphics. It's NVIDIA or nothing. Or however their old sayings used to be in the games that they sponsored.
Right? Whose stream did you think you jumped into, Helps?
Burn!
Oh, hi, Help. Why isn't she there?
Hey. Compute device is set to sleep to none. I guess I can go CUDA. Shouldn't do anything though, because there are my 2 CUDAs, my 2 NVIDIA cards. That shouldn't do doodly. Yeah, why?
Why?
I'm gonna stop the stream again. You should restart my computer every day. I shut it down every night when I go to bed. I am nice to it. It is nice to me most of the times. I'm streaming again. Hello, everybody.